Spider-Man is one of the most famous superheroes on planet Earth, making appearances in countless comics, movies and TV shows. And many of these mediums, if that's the correct term, have been highly successful, especially this movie right here, Spider-Man No Way Home, one of the highest grossing movies of all time. And also it has a high IMDb score, which is very important. But in my mind, it's an overrated movie, and here are the reasons why. It relies too much on nostalgia. One of the biggest reasons people love No Way Home is the return of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. And of course, I just love Tobey Maguire, man. And they appear alongside some classic villains like Doc Ock and Green Goblin. And don't get me wrong, it's awesome to see them again. But here's the thing, the movie leans so heavily on these older characters and moments that it feels like it's relying on our nostalgia to carry the story. Sure, seeing Tobey and Andrew back in action is very fun, but it makes you wonder, is the movie great because of what it's doing, or because it's reminding us of how much we love those older Spider-Man movies? From my perspective, I would literally give my life for Tobey Maguire. So it makes you wonder, is that the only reason why I enjoyed this movie? The plot is a little too convenient. Let's talk about how the story kicks off. Peter Parker's life is in chaos because everyone literally knows he's Spider-Man. And instead of finding a smart or thoughtful solution, he decides to go to Doctor Strange and ask him to wipe everyone's memory with a spell. It's not only reckless, it's also kind of, lazy. I mean, Spider-Man is supposed to be about clever problem solving and responsibility, right? I mean, with great power comes great responsibility. Yet here the whole story happens because Peter makes an incredibly careless decision, and for some reason Doctor Strange just supports it. I mean, this is a decision that I would make when I'm quite drunk after 8 bottles of beers and I'm at the blackjack table. But for Spider-Man, it doesn't feel right. Of course, Peter is a teenager and teenagers make mistakes, but this feels like a stretch even for him. It makes the whole setup feel a bit forced, like the writers needed a reason to bring the multiverse into play. There's just too much going on. I mean, you've got 3 Spider-Man, 5 villains, a love story, and a multiverse crisis all just crammed into one movie. Crammed, that's a word. While it's undeniably exciting to see all these elements on screen, the sheer number of characters and plot lines means that some parts of the story don't get the attention they deserve. For example, villains like Sandman and Lizard barely have any meaningful impact. They're just kind of there. And the sand guy, I mean, the actor wasn't even in the movie. He was just sitting on the couch, spreading sand all over the place. Even Aunt May's death, which should have been an emotional turning point, which it sort of was, but it felt rushed because the movie just quickly moves on to the next big fight, or reveal, or whatever it was. It's fun, sure, and not her dying, of course. But all the characters are fun, of course. But it also feels like the movie's juggling so many things that it struggles to give any of them just real depth and meaning. Depth? I'm not deaf. The stakes don't stick the landing. Speaking of Aunt May's death, it's his quote-unquote great power, great responsibility moment. And it's heartbreaking, man. But here's the issue. The movie doesn't give this moment enough time to just breathe or settle in. Almost immediately, the focus shifts back to the multiverse madness and just brings Tobey and Andrew into the fold. I mean, literally 5 minutes after she was killed or whatever, I started to cheer because I saw Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire on the screen. When I was just staring into Tobey's eyes, being a bit hypnotized, it's just made me completely forget about Aunt May. And by the time we get to the ending, where Peter just erases himself from everyone's memory, the emotional weight feels a bit, rushed. Instead of exploring the long-term consequences of Peter's action, the movie opts for a quick reset button and sort of setting up the next movie. It's more fan service than substance. Helicopter outside, gotta relax a bit. Let's face it, a large chunk of what makes this movie so beloved is the fan service. And hey, there's nothing wrong with fan service. It's thrilling to see Tobey, Andrew and Tom all fighting side by side, cracking jokes, sharing emotional moments, me looking at Tobey all hypnotized. Only in my regular dreams did I vision this happening. But when you strip away the nostalgia, does the movie hold up as a truly great Spider-Man story? Some would say no. Moments like Andrew Garfield saving MJ or Tobey Maguire's stopping Tom from killing Green Goblin are amazing moments, but they don't necessarily move the story forward in a meaningful way. Like, to be honest, I totally forgot that Andrew saved MJ until I started, exploring this video idea again. Poor guy, man, he's probably fighting some robot rhino right now. So, how do we wrap this up? In short, No Way Home is a No Way Home is a fun movie. It's great for fans of all things Spider-Man related. But when you sort of step back and look at it through an objective lens, it doesn't feel like the strongest or most meaningful Spider-Man story. It's entertaining, but it might not stand the test of time as well as it hopes to. The plot is basically relying on heavy nostalgia to carry it. Nostalgia in the form of Tobey Maguire and previous Spider-Man villains from when I was a child, which is not wrong, but the story is just not that intriguing or creative. But to be honest, despite this video, I must say that this movie was really, really cool, man. Tobey Maguire appearing out of that circle just made my spine shiver of joy. Top 2 moments in my life for sure. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Until next time, peace.